What's up, everybody? Claynferno here with a little live stream, and I'm gonna go live on the Wisdom app as well. Here I am, I'm live on the Wisdom app as well, live on this Sunday morning, sending all blessings to the universe out there. Namaste, namaste, yeehaw. I'm gonna read from my blog at claynferno.substack.com and all the links below. Yellowstone Season 4 finale equals 5 cries. And How the West Was Won. Claynferno Sunday Shorts. Never have I tuned the algorithm so quickly on YouTube to my immediate interests. About an hour after completing the Season 4 finale of the top streamed Taylor Sheridan show Yellowstone, I'm being fed top bull rider videos from Vice News, stories from the Bunkhouse, from the franchise itself, and Peter Travers and Kevin Costner's making of Yellowstone interview, which was kind of around Season 2 era, worthy of, and linked below at the Substack. Here's a few points taken out of that interview, plus some new news about Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner was pitched Yellowstone as a 10-part movie, shot the pilot before he knew it was going to be an ongoing series. The actor only has about 5 to 10 Western movies he thinks are really up to snuff. And after seeing How the West Was Won at a 6th birthday party, Costner himself built 3 canoes before he was 18 after admiring James Stewart in How the West Was Won. In other news, Kevin Costner is set up to start shooting period western called Horizon in August of this year. They hope this doesn't take him off the Yellowstone project. I don't think that it will, but he is writing and directing that movie, which I'm looking forward to. I also went and bought How the West Was Won, the HD restoration to watch on my big 4K TV, which I am enjoying immensely so far. I'm about halfway through it, and I see what he's talking about with the canoe that becomes very important in the story of the movie itself. There's this 20-minute long interview with Peter Travers I was mentioning that gives some insight into the man who is and plays John Dutton on the show. I saved the Costner interview for later in my YouTube session after a battery of Entertainment Tonight interviews with him and other stars of the show. For the record, I've been watching this mostly, that is to say, Yellowstone on my own. This is not a show I watch with my long-suffering partner, Stacey, who I keep telling to cowboy up, and I'm sure is very sick of it by now. Tonight, one of her burlesque troupe members was here, and they're off to prepare for her show. And somehow I made it through the season finale of Yellowstone, Season 4, and I've only cried 5 times while they were in the other room. So I have 1883 to watch now. I'm sad to say that I'm caught up. What an amazing show. For the record, back to Costner for a second, I cry at the scene where in Man of Steel he says, "You are my son," to his adopted son, Kal-El. Yes, Superman, I had to bring it back, comic book somehow. Every damn time I see that movie, I cry. So at least 3 of the cries from this season finale of Yellowstone Season 4 were from some father-son moments in the show. And if you know the show, there's father-son moments with people that aren't biological fathers, father figures in people's lives. Harkening back to the adopted son of Krypton for Ma and Pa Kent. There's a lot of bonding going on there. So I just think that he's great. I discovered something pretty recently that goes along with my Yellowstone binge and carrying on, and now things are starting to make a lot of sense. I'm really enjoying my big new TV with Yellowstone. There's these beautiful vistas that they show, lots of cowboy stuff going on, but it looks really good. So Taylor Sheridan, the real-life cowboy and actor and creator of the show, is responsible for one of my favorite movies in recent years, Sicario, and its sequel, though that one's not really as good in my opinion, Sicario: Day of the Soldado. One time at my friend's wedding, we were in Puerto Rico, and Benicio del Toro was there at the same resort hotel. My friend's little brother went over and said hi. I didn't feel like bothering him, but I always thought that was like a cool little side note. You could have probably filmed Sicario at this resort hotel that we were staying at, or where the wedding was at. So congrats to Chrissy and Rob. It's been a long time now since that trip, but it was cool. There was a portrait of President Obama and the First Lady who had also stayed at that place. There was parrots. It was very cool. Anyways, prior to my recent deep dive into the show Yellowstone, I had credited the Sicario director Denis Villeneuve with the genius of sort of the whole storytelling. I thought it was Villeneuve's vision, and visually, yeah, he's my favorite working director right now. I love the way that looks. I love the way Blade Runner looks, and I just think he's a fantastic director, and whoever uses for his director of photography. Like, those guys are a great team. And I love the overhead shots and the drone shots and helicopter shots that they always show. This big sweeping beast that says, I do like this kind of what Costner was saying in his interview about just seeing like the big wide scope of like even how the West was drawn, which was, I found out, was shot in 3 different cameras to be projected in CinemaScope. But I'm not a movie expert, I just picked this stuff up today. But yeah, I love the overhead shots, the sweeping vistas, as the saying. And but the story itself in the movie is very cool. You must have to have some sort of insider information about how drug cartels work or how this war kind of comes to be, and also just the believability of it all. So it's very believable fiction, even if it's not real. I don't know what's real. I don't follow these things. I don't know how cops work from the inside, but they make it look very cool. For some reason, I never had a reason to look at who wrote the story for Sicario, one of my favorite movies, and it was indeed Taylor Sheridan, the writer, director, co-creator of Yellowstone. Sheridan's career, I'll probably talk about him more maybe after we catch up on 1883, or maybe after I get Yellowstone indoctrinated into the family, get Stacy to watch it with me. But his career is very vast. He's an actor. He was in Son of Anarchy. He's a writer. He's a cowboy. He's just a very impressive dude. And he's got Oscar nominations for the story in 2016's Hell or High Water. And you can bet that you will really hear me checking on Hell or High Water. You can bet your whole Bunkhouse paycheck on that. That's for sure. So this guy's amazing. And I wish he expanded the Yellowstone universe as with 1883 and the 6666. The Sixes, as they call it, or the rodeo show with Jimmy that's gonna come out. I wish them all the success of the world. I'm into it. They could have a million spin-offs. He's got that Jeremy Renner show. Amazing cast, writing, direction, all of these projects. And the actors actually have to go to cowboy camp to learn how to cowboy with Taylor and other stuntmen and Hollywood horse trainers, so that they know what they're doing. Especially in the 1883 iteration, they have to ride covered wagons, so they learn how to do that and like make it look real in the show. So it's very cool. The production for Yellowstone filmed on location in Montana, and Luke Grimes, the star of the show, I guess he just moved there because it's so beautiful. And so I could just see how it's very accurate. It matches up with the beauty and the sweeping landscapes of the West, the modern West. So, in conclusion, I'm not sure why you're not watching Yellowstone, #1 stream show in the country, although this week it's kind of like pushed down because it's not currently on. But anyways, if there's different charts you can look at, and some of the information even I get is conflicting. But it's very much a top streaming show. Definitely hit #1 a few weeks in a row, if not like for all of last year. Let's say there's 4 seasons to watch. So, and then if you're lucky enough, you can watch 1883. That's another, I'd consider that a bonus season for fans of Deadwood and those old West shows, cowboy stuff. My name's Clay, so I'm really leaning into it. I'm gonna get cowboy hat. I don't know. I'm just being silly now, but still, I just really love Yellowstone. Can't recommend it enough. Check out Sicario. Love that movie. And then we're going to transition here and move on over to a sad note. Mark Lanigan from the Screaming Trees died. One of the best voices, and he's just amazing. So if you go to my Substack, I've posted a couple videos of Mark singing a couple of my favorite songs. Him singing with Blaine Staley, R.I.P. Long Gone Day, Mad Season in 1995. And then I also have Hit the City, which is off of his album Bubblegum 2004, and it's like a duet almost with PJ Harvey. I don't know how much they wrote this record together or not, but it hits you right in the right spot. Those couple songs, my recommendations for Mark Lanigan stuff. And there's just so much loss and pain in the world, and especially hurts when you know someone that's gone through like a sobriety and then also dies. But I'm not saying that he relapsed or was anything to do with drugs for that. I actually don't think that it was, because he was very sick recently and he had bout of COVID. So, yeah, you see someone, you know, kind of turn their life around and then they die because of fucking cancer or a liver disease or COVID-19, or they get hit by a car, or like just something happens. It's just, I don't have to tell any of you out there that it's very sad, all this loss, and all we could do really is just, honor the memory of the people that came before us, and honor the memory of our family members, our friends. And, when if you go into the mythology even of Yellowstone, Native Americans honor their ancestors all the time. And Mark Lanigan's not my ancestor, but he's somebody I feel like a brethrenship, a kinship to. And I'm just sad that he's gone. And I like to remind myself that, it's okay to have fond memories of people, and think that your ancestors or people that aren't here are with you in a way.